Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in last session, we discussed about Python features, and the origin of Python, few details about Python. So now in today's session, we will discuss about execution of Python program. This is very important. Execution of Python program. Okay. Just a second. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. See, how do you write your first Python program? Okay, just giving brief idea on that. Okay, look here. First you need to open any notepad. Right click on this notepad, or anything. I'm just giving example with notepad. Okay, just open this and then you type your Python program. Print whatever it is. Hi, this is Sai. Okay, now save it as, okay, save as. Always your Python program should have an extension of .py. See, what is file type? Just a second, I'll be back. Just a second. Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry. So any file will have an extension of it type, right? So for Python, the extension is .py. You got it right? .py. Now you have to choose all files, and then you have to name it as an something like any name, test underscore whatever, test.py. Okay, .py. Now you have to save it. See what will happen? You can see a file with test. Go to the properties. It is saying PyCharm community edition, whatever it is, because I have installed IDE. That is the reason it is showing like this. Otherwise, this is a Python file. See .py file. Clear. Delete your notepad. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
1 second. Yeah. Yeah. Now, how do you run your first Python?
Oh my God.
Hello. Can you
Yes, sir.
see my screen now?
Sir, no, sir, your screen is
Yeah.
not appeared.
So py now. Can you able to see now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So py space test.py. Once you press enter, it will display hi. This is hi. This is how you will execute your first Python program. Okay. See, whenever you are calling py, my voice is my voice. I mean, clear? Am
It
I
is
audible?
breakable, sir.
Your voice is breakable, sir.
It is now.
Abhilash, yes, sir.
Still, it is. I mean, you see any disturbance?
Abhilash.
Is it breaking still?
Yes, sir.
Oh my god. Okay. Can I just reconnect? Give me 2 minutes time.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Hi, Anant.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now is it audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. So when we are calling py space test.py, we are invoking the compiler. This is py is Python compiler. Python compiler, you please wake up and take this test py as an argument and execute it. So Python compiler will take this file test.py and it will execute. How it will execute in next few minutes I am going to discuss. Now it will display, hi, this is Sai. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now, see, listen very carefully. This is very important. This is your source code. Source code means your source file, Python file. Okay, this is your Python file. Test.py. This is your test Python file. Now, this file will be given for the compiler. This will be given for the compiler, and compiler will generate what? I will tell you. Just wait. Let me complete this diagram. Then I will explain how it's going to work. Okay. So bytecode. Okay. So this is your tested.pyc file. Now this will be given for the one second. Here it is, compiler. This is PVM. Okay, this will be mission code. Your computer. Okay. Now, see, listen very carefully. We have generated test.py file, which is Python file, because it has an extension of .py. This file, I will give it to the compiler. What compiler will do? It will compile to bytecode. What is a bytecode? Can anybody say me what is a bytecode? If you guys from computer science, you may be knowing Java. So you should be knowing bytecode. Okay. So bytecode is nothing but a fixed set of instructions that represents all the operations, like arithmetic operation, comparison operation, memory related operations, etc. You got it? So your Python file will be converted to an intermediate file called object file, which we call it as a bytecode file. Okay, this bytecode will be given for the PVM, which is Python virtual machine. Python virtual machine will check what is the operating system, what is the underlying hardware. Based on that, it will convert this bytecode into that platform specific mission code. And this mission code is executed by your underlying hardware or your operating system with the help of your operating system, and final results will be displayed. How many of you understood this? How many of you understood this?
Understood, sir.
Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, again I will repeat for non-programmers or from non-IT background people. See, your Python file will be given for the compiler. Compiler will convert that into bytecode. This bytecode will be taken by this PVM. And once this bytecode is taken by PVM, inside that PVM, there is something called interpreter. Interpreter will take each code and it will convert to platform specific mission code. If your operating system is Windows and if you are using Intel processor, it will convert to Windows Intel processor specific mission code. If it is in Linux and Atmel or whatever it is, it will specifically convert that to Linux and Atmel. So it will convert that platform specific mission code, and that mission code is executed by underlying processor, and you can see the output. This is how the Python programming will execute. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this Python virtual machine has inbuilt interpreter. Okay. What did I say? The difference between interpreter and compiler? Can anybody just tell me? In the first class, starting class, I explained the differences between the compiler and interpreter.
In interpreter, each line is executed, but the whole
Compiler?
code is
Yes.
the whole.
Yes. So now Python is interpreted or compiled?
Interpreted.
What, madam? I said it's in both, right?
Both
It is
compiler and
compiler plus
interpreter.
interpreter, because interpreter is there in PVM. Outside PVM, there is a compiler. Clear?
Yes.
So this is how it works. Now, see, these people, there are different implementations of Python compiler. Somebody wrote a compiler called C compiler. Means with the help of C language, they developed this Python compiler. That we call it as C Python. That is the default Python that we get when we. I'm sorry, today there is a bad network, I think, in my place. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Like, I don't know, I mean, very bad network today. Okay. So I was explaining about the PyPy compiler, PyPy Python specific. Okay, so they have added a to improve the performance of the interpreter. They have added a small compiler in the PVM. Okay, for which version of or for which flavor of Python? PyPy Python, PyPy Python. So when you compare, the execution of PyPy is much faster than rest of the flavors. So that compiler is nothing but JIT, just in time compiler, JIT compiler. It will speed up the execution of bytecode. That is this compiler will be there outside, but within the PVM, they have just added a small compiler called JIT compiler, just in time compiler, which will speed up the interpreted execution. Clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now we will see the demonstration. Py file has to be converted to .pyc, and then it has to display. But what is happening here? When I execute, when I execute py test.py, I directly see something, but I don't see any .pyc file. Okay, so that can be seen once you give a command something like this. Okay, I will give the command. You please note down python. And one more thing, you can also invoke Python using Python as well. I just mentioned py here, but you can also mention Python and give this argument test.py. Okay, now -m py underscore compile. Okay, just a second. I have just kept this documents somewhere. One sec. No module name py. Oh, sorry. So there is something called, yes. Okay. keyboard. Hello. So, can you see my desktop
No, sir.
No, sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
See, I have compiled it and I see something called first dot C Python hyphen 37. Means as I told you, C Python is the default software installed, Python software installed in the system when we install. So C Python means that Python compiler has been designed how? Using C. Okay, when you go to properties of this file, you can see what is that dot pyc. Clear? This file is dot pyc file, means we achieved first stage, means we are using this one and we are compiling it to that. Okay, so what is that name? Python space -m space py underscore compile space test.py. Means I am requesting Python. One second. I am requesting Python -m means module. Which module? Py underscore compile. Use this module and compile this program to .pyc. So that's what it has done here. If you look, that is what it has done here. It created one underscore pycache underscore. In that it has created a file with first dot py C Python -37. If you open this, what you will see? Some junk. You don't understand that. See, some junk which you don't understand that. Till here you are clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Yeah. Now go to this folder. Okay. Now py. See, hello world. That's what we have written. I mean, I am showing the old, this thing because I was getting some error. You got it right? So I am getting hello world. So when you say Python, your first .py or test.py, what it will do, it will automatically run the chain. First it will convert to .pyc and then it will invoke the pvm, and the pvm will take this pyc file and it will interpret and it will display the results. So in one go it is happening. If you want to see it in stage by stage, then you need to invoke this module. Which module? Python space -m space py underscore compile module. Clear? You can do it in any software, not only on Windows. You can do on Linux, Ubuntu, Mac, anywhere you can do this. No problem. Okay. Clear? See, when I opened that bytecode, it was showing me something which I cannot understand, right? So in Python we have one more module called dis, means disassemble. Python -m dis there is some problem because in last session, right, I think I was explaining them how to install and uninstall Python. Maybe somewhere that I have removed the Python, I think. Okay, so it got corrupted. In next session, anyway, we will discuss about installation of Python, right? There we can set this, so that should not be a problem. Okay, so that is nothing but disassemble. When you disassemble, you will get the object code, human readable object code, means mnemonics. Mnemonics you get. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we'll just discuss about different flavors of Python. Okay. So we have something called C Python. This is the standard Python compiler implementation in C language. Okay. This Python software, it has been downloaded by anybody, in python.org/downloads. If you go to python.org/downloads, here, .org/downloads, here, downloads, you can get this, whatever that you can download here, it's an C implementation. Okay. Similarly, you have Zython. So it was earlier known as JPython. JPython. Okay, it's implementation of Python programming language, which is designed to run on Java or Java JVM. That we call it as a Zython. IronPython. IronPython has been developed for C# to run on CLR. You know .NET, right? If they want to run Python on their CLR, like Java, you have JVM. For .NET, you have CLR. Okay. So CLR is nothing but common language runtime. So this implementation of Python language for .NET framework, we call it as an IronPython. Clear? So we have one more thing called Ruby Python. Likewise, we have PyPy, Stackless Python, Phoenix, Anaconda Python. All that we don't need. We are working only on C Python, which is default implementation, standard Python compilers. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I explained about JIT compiler, right?
Yes.
We'll discuss about memory management in Python. Okay. So Generally, in C, C++ and all, programmer is responsible to allocate and deallocate memory. See, in C, which function we use to allocate memory? malloc, something like that. To remove that memory or deallocate, we use free, right? malloc and free. But in Python, that is not the case. PVM will take care of allocation and deallocation of the memory. You as a programmer, no need to worry. Okay, there is something called the GC, garbage collector. Okay, that will take care of your memory allocation and deallocation. So as a programmer, you no need to worry. Okay, see, we call all your objects will be initialized in a memory called heap. You know what is heap? Can somebody tell me what is heap? So in Python, everything is an object. If you initialize a variable, it's an object. Function is an object. Module is an object. Everything is an object. What is an object? I will tell you what is an object. For now, you just think that everything is an object, some object. Okay. Now, these objects will be allocated dynamically when we are executing the program, right? So this will be dynamically allocated in a special memory called heap. Heap is also part of your operating system memory only. You know what is memory? See, this is your operating system and you have hardware memory. So your PVM will allocate, PVM will check whether there is enough memory to allocate objects. Okay, if it is there, then it will allocate objects. Okay, so this PVM will give the task for this Python raw memory allocator. This Python raw memory allocator will check if there is an existing memory in the heap. If it is there, then it will say yes, it is there. Then PVM will interact with object specific allocators and it will allocate the memory. What are these object specific allocators? Let's say if it is an integer type object, then integer type object specific, integer specific allocator will allocate the object for it. If it is a float specific allocator will do that. If it's a string specific allocator will do that. So indirectly what PVM is doing, the task is given for the object specific allocators, and those allocators, it will check whether there is enough memory in the operating system or in the system. Based on that, it will allocate and deallocate. With this, in this process, GC also directly or indirectly involved. That we will discuss when we speak about GC module in the under modules. Under Python modules, when we speak about the GC, we will discuss in detail about garbage collection. Clear? High level memory allocation is something like this. Python raw memory allocator is a piece of software which will check whether there is an available memory in the operating system or in the system or not. If it is there, then it will communicate to the PVM. PVM will ask this object specific allocators to allocate memory. Clear with this base concept?
Yes, sir.
Takeaway is like you as a programmer no need to worry about allocating and deallocating of the memory. PVM or Python will take care of it. That's what I was trying to explain here. Clear? Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in next session, we will continue with installing the software. In how many ways we can run Python program. These things we will check in tomorrow's class. In next week, we will go in a little more faster and, we'll continue with the rest of the sessions. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.